Hello everyone, my name is Millie, and today we're going to be talking about what you will need during your postpartum period. Now, I had a vaginal birth, so this is more going to pertain for a vaginal birth. Now, some things for a C-section are the same for the most part, but I do recommend, doing your research on what you're going to need for both. Because in the end, you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's good to be prepared for both. So today I'm going to work from the top down. So then, without further ado, we're going to start with loose clothes. After you leave the hospital, you're still going to look about 5 months pregnant. Just expect that. It takes a while for your uterus to shrink back down. It's been stretched out for 9-10 months. So it's going to take a while to stretch back, to contract back down, so just give it time. But just make sure you bring loose, comfortable clothes. And then next on my list, and just expect to see the top of my child's head in every single one of my videos, because she has to be on my lap every time I'm at my computer table. So just expect to see a little blonde head right next to me in front of pretty much every single sit-down video like this. She just has to be where I am. So the next we're going to move on to kind of what you're going to need breastfeeding. And this is kind of just basic. Breast pump. Now you can use a hand pump, like an automatic pump. You can use either one. Now if you're doing long term, I would recommend getting one, that's electric, because your hands are going to get tired. It takes a long time to pump. Now, I actually got my breast pump through my insurance, and I got the Modella Freestyle, and that worked great for me, and it came in a backpack. I love the backpack. It was so nice. If you needed to go somewhere, it was just nice to have a backpack. And the next is nursing pads. Even if you don't breastfeed, I would still recommend getting at least one box of nursing pads, just in case your milk does come in. And then while the period, when it's drying up, you may lactate. So just get at least one box just in case. Some people get reusable, some people get disposable. I like disposable ones, just because I've got so much laundry. It was just easier to use the disposable. It's one less thing to have to worry about. And I used the Target brand. Target brand worked great. I tried the Modella brand. Modella brand was great. So it's just really preference. I would not get a kind that's rough, because whenever you first start breastfeeding, you're going to be very sore and very tender. And, you just don't want that pushed up against you. So get something that's soft. And then next is nipple cream. Now, I used the Lancino one. Now, I did not have any cracking or blistering. So, as far as how well that would work if that happened, I do not know. But I used the Lancino one, and it worked great for me. I had good luck with it. But definitely invest in a good nipple cream. It's definitely worth your time. And a nursing bra. Now, I don't recommend buying a bunch of bras before you have your baby, because you don't know what size you're going to be. You may only go up 1 cup size. You may go up 3. And you do not want to wear a tight bra if you're trying to breastfeed, because you run the risk of getting a clogged duct. And you don't want that. Those are so painful. I've never had one, but I've heard they're very, very uncomfortable. And that's the last thing you want to worry about if you're trying to breastfeed, is a clogged duct. So just wait, see what size you're at, and then go from there. I use the ones from Target. They worked great. But definitely invest in some good ones, especially if you plan on breastfeeding long term, so you're comfortable and it's going to last you. Now, I was not able to breastfeed for very long, and I'll probably make a video about that, just kind of explaining what happened. But we'll get to that later. And then next is a water bottle. When you're breastfeeding, you need to be drinking water, because you're going to get thirsty. It takes a lot of fluid to make breast milk. You need to make sure you eat and you drink. It's a lot on your body. So and I do recommend actually making some freezer meals before you have your baby. It's just nice to have, to be able to pull out of the freezer and warm it up and not have to worry about cooking, because you're not going to feel like getting up and cooking, and you don't want to be eating a lot of takeout food, because we'll get to that issue later on. But just make stuff ahead of time so you just don't have to worry about it. I would probably make enough for at least 3 weeks. Give you a chance to get back on your feet and get into the routine of having a baby, which you will get in that routine very quickly. And if this is your first baby, don't worry. I had a super colicky. She had severe acid reflux, and we lived through it. So trust me, you're gonna be okay. The first couple days is rough. But once you get past that first month, it will be so much easier. So just take your time whenever you have your baby, because it will get easier. Okay, and the next on my list, which we're going to be moving down. This is stuff that, no one really wants to talk about, but you need to know. I was kind of prepared for this, but then I wasn't. You bleed a lot. Whether you have a C-section, vaginal birth, there's a lot of blood. And I'm not talking about like period, I'm talking bloodbath. Like, that scene from The Shining where you got the hallway and then the blood just talking about? It's like that. The first time you go to the bathroom, someone's gonna go in with you, and they're gonna put on these mesh panties, and they are so attractive. And then they're gonna put 5 hospital pads in your panties, and you're still gonna bleed through. I mean, you got front, back, side to side. These pads are everywhere. But snag as many of those mesh underwear as you can, because they're very comfortable. And then like with pads, I recommend getting Depends. With my next kid, I'm definitely going to be getting Depends, because with period pads like maxi pads, they are so thick and stiff, and you're swollen. If you have stitches, if you have to have an episiotomy, you do not want something pushing up into you. It's just going to irritate you, and it's going to be painful, and you just don't need that. So if you can avoid that whole, shebang, I recommend it. Just get you some Depends. Also, the first time you go to the bathroom, they're going to give you a peri bottle. Now, this is just to help keep you clean, because you can't really wipe, especially if you have stitches. So it's just there to help keep you clean. And some people, which I did not have this problem, but some people, especially if you have a lot of stitches, it's going to burn when you pee. So that just kind of helps, with the burning. I personally, whenever I would do my peri bottle, I'd put some water in there, and I'd put some witch hazel in it. And that really helped kind of soothe things. So I do recommend doing that. And speaking of witch hazel, they're going to give you something called Tux pads. Now, Tux pads are actually for hemorrhoids. And you can get hemorrhoids when you push out a baby. And you get them afterwards. So just be prepared. Being a mom, you're going to be stuck with hemorrhoids. Just be prepared. So they're going to give you Tux pads. And they're just these little pads with the witch hazel on it. And they will feel great on your stitches. They're very cooling. Because once your stitches really start healing, they are so uncomfortable. And those Tux pads they make a night and day difference. So if you do have to have stitches, I recommend going and getting more Tux pads. And they may give you more in the hospital, just ask. Oh, and my next one is Dermaplast. Now, most hospitals will give you Dermaplast. If for some reason you run out and you still need it, Walmart, CVS, now they don't have hospital grade, but they're going to have something that you can use. It may not work as good as the hospital one, but it's still Dermaplast. It's still going to help some. And then stool softeners. Now, me talking about not wanting to eat a whole lot of takeout food is going to come into play. After you have a baby, it's going to be very uncomfortable to go to the bathroom. Your abs are sore. Everything down there is swollen and sore. Taking soul softeners is going to make this process much easier. It's not going to hurt as bad. So and I would ask your OBGYN what kind now. Get this before you have the baby. And also, it doesn't hurt to take stool softeners when you're in your 3rd trimester, because you will get so constipated. Oh, 3rd trimester constipation is horrible. So definitely ask your doctor what brand they recommend, because every doctor is going to have a brand that they recommend. Now, do not get anything with a stimulant in it. That's a laxative, and you don't want that mess. So I'm trying to think of anything that would else be on my list. Oh yeah, takeout food. Don't eat a lot of greasy food or stuff that can really upset your stomach. I know with me, I had a very upset stomach after having a baby. So just kind of eat food that's gentle on your stomach. Eat a lot of fiber. Just keep yourself comfortable. And 2, I'm trying to think. Actually, I think that's the end of my list. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'd be more than happy to ask them. And if you have any concerns, you can always talk to your OBGYN, your midwife, whoever you're going through for care. That's what they're there for. And they would much rather you know what to do than not know what to do. It's just, having a baby is such a big thing. And it's so hard on your body. And your body goes through a lot of changes. So just be patient with it. And that sweet little baby, or babies, if you're having multiples, are so worth it. They're so much fun. Mine is 2 now, and I can't believe she's gonna be 2 already. It's insane. But I'm gonna stop my rambling, and I'll most likely make my breastfeeding story and probably a labor and delivery story down the road. So I hope you guys watch them, and I hope you guys like this video. And if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful day.